Hello, happy Friday everyone, hope you're doing well. Welcome to the Aquarium Adventures live stream every Friday night, come hail or high water. Is that even the saying? We're here talking nonsense for the best part of 2 hours or however long I can last. So, for all of you good people in the chat, welcome. Let's have a bit of admin to start the night. Click that like button, as everyone always does. Or everyone always says, not everyone always does. Click that like button. And if my dad should show up, Robert Kerr, if you see him in this chat, I want lots of happy birthdays in the chat because it's his birthday today. And I've been a terrible son and I haven't actually sent him, I haven't given him a phone call. I've sent him some presents and a card, but I haven't given him a phone call yet and I feel very bad. So, if he sneaks in at some point and says hello, I want, hello, Aquarium Adventures Dad. Hello, Robert. Happy birthday, all that kind of jazz. Oh, I'm assuming you can actually hear me and see me. That would have been good to check that first, wouldn't it? But it says it's all green. It looks like it's working. So we're good. Right. Just for a change, I haven't got anything planned whatsoever. I'm totally behind schedule. There you go. Question number 1. Let's have a poll. Is it schedule or schedule? That was an argument I had today. That wasted an hour of my life. But very busy day. Some idiot who schedules meetings for 4 o'clock on a Friday afternoon. So I'd work all the way to finishing time. I've spent the best part of 2 or 3 hours hoovering my grass. There you go. That's something I didn't think I'd be saying very often. So I've just finished that, just as the light was about to fade. I've now got a lovely putting green in my garden. I'll explain later what that actually means. And then run up here and went, oh, it's 9:15, let's get up here. And then I had big plans I was going to have all kinds of things going on. In fact, did any of them work? Let's see, I'm just going to switch between something else and see if it does actually work. I don't think it is. Right, bear with me a second. No, didn't work. Fine. I was going to get all professional, I was going to do cutscenes, I was going to do banners and all kinds of things, but we are where we are. So I thought I'm going to lean on you guys just for a change. Let me know what you want to talk about. Let me know any questions. We'll do an Ask Me Anything. So any point through the night, ask me any questions. It can be about fish keeping, it can be about, I don't know, maintenance of AstroTurf. It can be about life in general. I'm going to ask you some questions and we'll see where we get to. But first of all, let's say hello to everyone. So, if I go through the chat, we've got Michelle E. Hello everyone. We've got Courtney, welcome. Noodle Sandwich early in today. Rocky, Freshwater Ichthyology. Had to have a 2 hour nap. I'm sure I saw a post from you earlier on Discord where you said you'd only just woken up and it was something like 2 o'clock in the afternoon. So you've just had to have that and then have another nap. Come on. Callum's in. Michelle says, you did great this morning. Oh, you did great this morning, Rebecca, on Jess's channel. What's all this about? We need to know more. You did great this morning, Rebecca, on Jess's channel. What is Jess's channel? And what was Rebecca doing on it? Sharpie's here. Yep, you did great, Rebecca. Thoroughly confuddled Jess and had all the men fawning over your accent. Okay, you're obviously, something's going on there. May have to have a look at that and see how you did. I fatigued out a little towards the end and was running on 3 hours sleep after a night shift. I take my previous comment back then. You're allowed to have a late start. Apologies. I think I'm getting blinder by the week. I now can barely read my own chat. That's not any better. Let's try that again. Well, I'm cleaning my glasses. If you wouldn't all mind clicking that like button, sharing the stream. I meant to post on Facebook and I keep forgetting to do that. Check out Discord. Bing. Click the clicky things. Thank you anyway. I have a bit of a strange British accent, I've heard, because it's not quite standard London English isn't standard. Ugh. Okay, so the internet went down. Yay! I have no idea where we were when that happened, and I've no idea if I'm actually live yet again. I'm just going to stare over this way and see if any green lights come back on. Pretend I'm not just talking to myself. Who knows? Oh, Lily Loft has become a member. I don't know if you can hear me saying thank you, but thank you. I've lost the chat. The chat has died. How can we do that? How can we see if that goes away and comes back again? I don't know what to do. Oh, right. Yes, it appears we have. Thank you, PlusNet, doing me proud yet again. Bloody PlusNet. I might just randomly and see if I can fool you into thinking it's gone again. I don't know where I was with that one. I'm trying to remember. I think I was in the middle of telling a story about me moving to Sheffield and people misremembering my accent. Anyway, night shift down in London, Hemel Hempstead, worst place ever. Not worst place ever, I'm sure there are worse places. Drove up to Sheffield, fell asleep in the car, did the interview, half asleep, and what was going to be my boss asked me what part of Ireland I was from. I said Glasgow, and she went, "Oh, you know, I always thought that was in Scotland." That was, I have no idea how I got that job, because I gave her that look like, what the? And then I think one of the other questions was, because this was an IT job, imagine you were on shift in the middle of the night and one of the servers fell over. What would you do? And my answer was, canny guy me. Well, what I would do is I would bend with my knees, not with my back, and pick it back up again, as long as it was safe to do so. If you know anything about IT, what they actually meant was, what if the server crashed and went blue screened? How would I fix it? I'd pick it back up again really safely. But yeah, they gave me the job and I'm still here. I'm not doing the same job now, but that's where it started. I can't remember why I was telling you that story, but there we go. Let me see if I can race through some comments and see if I'm even still here and whether or not you can hear me. Anyway, where did I get to? Oh yes, that was about all accents sounding the same, wasn't it? Right. Kaylee's here. She says hello, or she was here anyway. Dawn said Graham received jeering thus morning. What? Evening all. Graham received jeering. I don't know what that means. Oh, keyring possibly? Received keyring this morning, thank you. Right, so I've finally caught up with all the live stream giveaways that we've been doing for the last 2 or 3 weeks. So if you haven't got your prize, possibly by tomorrow, let's say on Monday, if nothing has arrived on Monday, because I sent out a bunch of parcels and over a couple of days. So if it hasn't arrived by probably tomorrow, but let's say, let me know on Monday if you're expecting a prize and you haven't got it. I've probably forgotten you. So I know Mark, I think it was, emailed me just before the live stream to ask about a polo shirt. If that doesn't turn up tomorrow, I'm on it, and then we'll get it back out to you. So we should be almost. Oh God, I've covered in dirt from hoovering my grass. Loud and clear. Hey Graham, good to see you. Silver Surfer's here. Michelle's in. Dawn clarified, received keyring this morning. Thank you. God, I'm glad you got it. Let me see how we get up to. How's the glass? There's a question. I'll write that down, Callum. The glass is fine. Spoiler alert. It's just not in the tank. Question, how did you get into fish keeping? There you go. Question number 1. How fish keep. Very high tech, just using a pen. The aquatic morning show. So that was the thing that you were on. Can we have a look at that? maybe we'll have a look at that in a little while I catch up if the internet lasts. And there we go, it has now died. Focus you, there you go. Let me see if I can catch up with the stream. One day this will just go nice and smoothly and nothing weird will happen. Aquatic morning show. Manes, tails, furs and fins. Oh, so you did. I can see you on the thumbnail. Right, let's see. Oh, my chatty thing's not working. There we go. We're working again. Hopefully I haven't disappeared again. Has anyone else frozen? Right, let's start from there. Yes, we froze. My shitty internet. I do apologise, everyone. We are a professional outfit, honest. I like that one, Kaylee. If you press the like button, you get a little celebration. Give it a try. Yeah, frozen. James says it's the longest 4D week. Hello. Child. But it's just like 1 day off equals 2 days to get back to the point you were before the day you took off. Or maybe it's just working with idiots constantly. Aquarium daily. Fully frozen. Yes, I was. Everyone else was downstairs kicking their own routers. Yeah, I was doing that myself. Ben Scott got back into fish keeping after a 10 to 15 year break. I used to be pretty good back in the day. Had a fully planted CO2 injection arrow water discus tank. Now I have a 7 litre no filter nano tank. Do you know what? That's probably just as hard to do as a discus tank, a fully high tech discus tank, isn't it? I've always thought it was a bit. Somebody said that to me. Oh, you're really good at aquariums. I'm like, am I? I just have a lot of them. It's all about. It should be simple. Everything about aquariums should be simple. I guess that's what makes it interesting, because it never is. But it should just be, yeah, provide the right environment. And fish do all the work. You don't actually do anything. Graham was currently shouting at the kids, "Get off the effing internet!" No, it's my. Well, I'm going to be shouting at PlusNet. Need to feed the internet hamster, definitely. I wonder if he sat talking to himself for a good few minutes. I was. I find hitting the router sometimes works. Turn it off, turn it on again. It's the old adage of everything in IT. Short break. We're back. There we go. Right, okay. Sorry. Let me get down to... You just wish you could understand my accent. Surely my accent's very straightforward and I'm very well spoken for a Scotsman. Andy, sorry for the confusion. Ah, right, so that was you that was talking to me about the 3D printing stuff. Okay, I got you. That's not gone again, has it? No, we're still live apparently. Happy birthday. Has my dad showed up? My dad showed up and I've missed it. Oh, God. Or am I just really far behind now? There he is. I was explaining to everyone, Dad, that they all had to say happy birthday if you ever showed up. Because I was totally embarrassed that I haven't got around to phoning you yet to wish you a happy birthday. So, happy birthday, Dad. Hope you enjoyed your card and your presents and they weren't too random. Everyone was just singing our little song now. No, we won't do that. Celebrating his, what are you now, Dad? 45? Something like that? Question, another question. God, 2 questions. However well we get through the night. Question 2. How delicate are Cory eggs as they laid on an internal filter I use for extra flow in the tank, and I'm due to change the floss in the filter would be out of the bottom for 2 minutes. Will that be okay? Yes. So I'll answer that one first before we go back to the other one. Cory eggs are not that delicate at all. I've bred them in the past by, when they've laid on the glass, just scraping them up with like a credit card, any kind of thin material, and then kind of shaking them off into another container and then breeding them in not breeding them, but putting the eggs in a breeder box and letting them mature in there. Absolutely fine. I've had them on the card for minutes at a time, if not longer, and they've still hatched and been absolutely fine. Obviously, don't let them dry out, but yeah, they can take a bit of a beating. The other question, what was the other question? How did I get into fish keeping? Oh, it's just going to turn into story time tonight. How did I get into fish keeping? I got into fish keeping. So, my dad will deny this because we've had this discussion. I thought I had a fish tank when I was a kid because I definitely remember keeping neon tetras in a tank in our flat that we had back at Vickerland Place. He says no, we didn't. So I must have imagined that. So I thought we had a fish tank when I was a kid, and then once I got my own house, I got a small, like that kind of size tank. In fact, if it was even as big as that, I'd be surprised. But I had everything in there from glass catfish to dwarf gouramis to I didn't do anything as stupid as like common plecos or anything like that, but very inappropriate fish, where I stuck all that in there, and that must have been when the kids were, my eldest, about 15, so that would have been about 15 years ago, when I first got a big tank after that. I thought, ooh, right, okay, and I got into discus, and that was when properly got into fish keeping, so that's probably, 15 years ago? And it was a mistake that got me into it. So I think even though I had aquariums for a while before that, it was mostly like, I'm like the guy that I see in Pets at Home or going to the LFS where they have an aquarium and they have fish, but they're not into it. They think it's cool. But as soon as I got discus and it all started going downhill, I was all over all the forums, I was all over the internet, joining groups here, left, right and centre. Oh, help, what do I do? Or what have I done wrong? And that's what spawned the whole learning about fish and fish keeping and doing research and all those kind of things. And I don't know what it was, but that's the thing that kicked it off in my head, thinking, wow, there's more to this than I thought. And I really enjoyed learning about all those things, so that's what got me into it. And then I got more tanks and more fish and wanted to learn about all different types of fish. So that's the answer to that one. Ben says it's a challenge to go no filter nano. Unfortunately, circumstances, I don't have the room for a big tank, but I really enjoy the challenge and also get to live the bigger tanks. Yeah, I mean, nano tanks are not easy. The number one thing that I always say to people when they're asking for advice on how do we start on this is get as big a tank as you can. So the larger your water volume, the easier it is to care for the fish that live in it. So nano tanks are, like I say, just as much of a challenge as any discus tank or anything like that. So good luck to you. I do like a challenge to have the nano tank myself. I mean, that's not a nano tank, but that's probably the tank I spend most time on trying to get it right. So I hope you do well. What are you keeping in this nano tank? Do you have an aquarium, Robert? I don't think he does he? He has talked about getting one, or we threatened one. No, not me. Leave that to my son. Well, your next birthday present, which might arrive tomorrow. No. I thought you were up for it. I know a guy who has some fish tanks, and we can sort you out. What did you get for your birthday? Yes, Dad, let us know. You don't fancy any floods then? I'm sure he wouldn't be as... He's my dad, he always does everything better than me. He wouldn't flood anything. Oh yeah, fungus. So that's the thing to watch out. Any egg layers, fungus is the thing. Fungus, other fish. I do like that. Fungus. So get some good flow going over them. So like Cory eggs, any kind of egg laying fish, I always try and get an air stone in there to get some water movement. You can use meth blue and things like that if that helps too. So fungus will make things go wrong. Other fish. So if you're in a community tank, it doesn't really matter what happens, because one other fish will find those eggs and will eat them. Become a member for cool emojis. I couldn't agree more. Thank you, Courtney. Thank you, Noodle Sandwich, for your 99p super chat. It really makes my day. I mean, I'm not just done this to shill for extra money, but every time we get a donation, that ringtone goes up. I quite like that. Courtney's looking for a ban. I'm quite happy to ban mods as well, Courtney. Don't want any of this angels are better than discus nonsense. Skeller, I'm currently growing on my 5 juvenile discus in a 240 litre fluval Roma. Is this going to be big enough for them when they grow to 6 inch? As I've heard it's 40 litre per adult fish. Can you advise, please? It'll be plenty big enough. I would even be tempted to put 1 or 2 extra in there if I was just keeping discus. So obviously this is a much debated topic, and I think I've made my feelings known several times. My point, my guidance, I mean, again, I'm just some bloke on the internet, don't take any of this for red, but I would say go with 6 as your minimum number. You've gone with 5, that's absolutely fine, but if you were starting out, I'd say go with 6. I don't know why, but it seems to make a difference for me. And if I was just keeping the discus, I'd be happy with 6 in 180 litres. Obviously that changes if you want to have it as a more of a display tank, a show tank, and have thank you, Jacob. That changes if you want to have other fish in there. So if you want to have a big school of tetras and some ancestris and some, I don't know, some couple of rams and various other bits and bobs in there, then you will eventually start to stretch that, and 180 litres might not be big enough, but 240 for 5, that's plenty big enough, and you will almost certainly be able to keep them in there through to adulthood. 40 litres times 40 litres per adult fish, I mean, it's as good an estimate as any others, and I can't really argue with it, but they are just estimates, they're guidelines, they're not, if you only give it 38 litres, well then it's just going to die. It's not the case. 40 litres is a good, rough, something to aim at, isn't it? It's not a hard and fast rule. Nothing terrible is going to happen if you don't do that. I've heard all kinds of rules. So it's 40, it's what, 60 litres for the first fish and 25 for every fish after that. You're like, wow, that's just nonsense. People are just making up numbers. Go as big as you can. The standard sizes of aquariums, a fluval Roma 240 is going to be plenty big enough to house a big group of discus. So if you're 5 discus in there, some aquascaping, some extra fish in there, lovely tank, perfect size, you'll get on just fine. Pufferfish better than other fish. I would agree. I do want to get some more pufferfish. I really want some shouting Denny. I think that's how we pronounce it. Either one to go in the Congo tank, or a bunch of them to go in their own tank. But they're like hen's teeth at the moment, and the ones you can find are really, really, really expensive. Shadex says Cory is better than other fish. I'm not sure that's true. I mean, there is a niche out there for Cory lovers, isn't there? And they can't be told. I guess they're just like me saying, well, Discus is clearly the king of the aquarium. They're like, no, it's Cory's. And then you've got the weirdos over in the corner going, no, it's killifish. And then there's Courtney saying it's turtles. Sweets, clothes, some golf stuff, lots of beers. Well done. Done well out of it then. Just for the ringtone. I'll take it, thank you. Please can you turn the Omi Balls sound up? Oh, is it not very... Why would that not be very high? Is it that, maybe? I might have to work on that. Kaylee has become a member. Thank you very much. So, quick word on that. If you become a member, you get access to a whole load of fancy emojis. You get a fancy little icon next to your name in chat, and if you go for a hero membership, you get 10% off anything at aquariumadventures.co.uk. End ad. Freshwater greater than marine. I'll go with that one. I've had a few comments recently. I was having a chat with somebody. They were like, why aren't you doing marine? Surely you've done everything in freshwater. And I'm like, you do know there's much more to do in freshwater than there is in marine. Just because there aren't corals in freshwater doesn't mean it's a lesser hobby. I would argue that there's much more in freshwater than there is in marine. It's not that it's boring, and I do like marine fish. I think they're pretty cool, but there's plenty to keep me going in freshwater. A new game to time it at the inappropriate moment. Freshwater fish socialising with other people. Yeah, so that's why glass is a problem. I've been in lockdown so long, I no longer have any friends that are willing to come and help me. So glass for Mega Tank turned up last Friday actually. So I've managed to get it from where they dumped it in my garage round to the tank. So I used the old pagan rolling it on rollers thing, got it round there. I can just about get it off the ground, but it's heavy as hell, and I really don't want to employ my children, so I might have to hire someone to come around and help me get this into, because it needs to get up. I can either build some kind of horsey things and get it up onto that, and then push it up and over and drop it into place, but I've just had so much else going on. I've not even had a chance to think about it this week, so that'll be a job for next week, is sorting out some way of getting the Mega Tank glass. So this is a pane of glass that's basically 8 foot wide by 3 foot tall, so it weighs an absolute ton. I think it weighs something like, what was it, 85 kilos, 95 kilos, which doesn't sound that much, because I remember looking at it and going, I'm sure I could lift that. And then when I tried, I was like, oh, okay, maybe not. I always confuse kilos and pounds. I'm not sure why I'm such an idiot in that one. So it's slow going, this Mega Tank. It's kind of slowed down after after getting all the waterproofing done, but we're getting there. So the big thing that I've been working on mostly this week is the African tank. So you'll notice I called it the African tank there rather than the Congo biotope. It's technically still going to be a Congo biotope, so I've ordered a new tank, which was meant to come today and didn't. I've ordered a 4 foot by 2 foot tank. That's going to be my Congo River biotope. I've got a load of wood and rocks and sand, and I'm going to smash up some pebbles, smash up some dragonstone for little gritty bits, and try and make like a riverscape in there. I've ordered a bunch of plants, so I've got a load of, not Bucephalandra, what's it called? The other one that begins with B, that's African. I don't know. Anubias, I've done some crinums, I've ordered some... God, brain engage, what is it called? Let's have a quick look. If I go on eBay, because I'm sure I bought that one from eBay, I've had to... Plants were a nightmare to source. I usually use Aquarium Gardens. I have a couple other places I've used in the past to get good plants. There's usually a lot of plants at the local fish club auction, which I forgot was on, so missed that. But yeah, I just can't find anything. I saw one. Let me concentrate on what we're trying to do. Purchase history. I saw one bulbitis, that's the word. Oh God, why did that take so hard to do? I saw one plant that was selling for something like £99. I was like, what the hell? So it's going to be mostly a hardscape, but I've got bulbitis, I've got 2 or 3 bunches of that, I've got some different types of Anubis, I've got some Anubias, and I've got some crinum. So I'm going to be lightly planted, mostly hardscape. I'm going to put in a load of botanicals in there and get the water nice and tanned. And then we've got all the fish, so we've got the Alistes tetras, we've got the Congo tetras, which the tank is based around. We've got some butterfly fish, is that the word I'm trying to think of? Some, got the Delhaize bicher, and something else which I'm forgetting. Can't remember, but it's going to be I'm getting really involved in this. I've been looking at loads of articles to try to read up on African. So many people on YouTube do African tanks and then just stuff it full of Java fern. You're like, that's not African. Or like you'll read an article on how do you do a Congo biotope? Well, first off you want to get this, and you're like, it's all these Asian plants that they're sticking in there. So none of them are actually native, but getting any really good information about actual Congo plants is really, really difficult. I'm struggling. So Eliocharis, that's another one, like the dwarf hair grass. I've had that before, and I bought some, but I'm not sure I'm going to use it because I remember it just being awkward, and it doesn't really feel rivery to me, even though it is a native species plant. So we'll see how we get on with that. But that's the thing I'm really excited about. So I was hoping that would turn up today, so as I could spend the weekend scaping that and get some good videos made, because I've not made any videos this week. Although I do have one to make. But you never know. I got a notification that it had been posted, or it had been couriered, and it's 3 to 5 days. So I think yesterday was meant to be the 4th day. So it might turn up tomorrow, I don't know, or maybe it'll be Monday. I'm not sure what days the couriers work. Yeah, so that's been my few days. I know no one asked about that, but there you go. For animals in a nano, cherry shrimp, a single nerite, and 3 golden white clouds. Very good. Well, I'll leave it for someone else to say, that's too many fish, but someone will say that anyway. Had marine, wasn't fun, just expensive. I definitely feel you on the expensive side of things. I remember lights is what got me. I couldn't get why lights were so expensive just because they were marine lights. If you just took the word marine off it and got something with the same colour spectrum, it was like half the price, if not that. Chewing on toenails is better than socialising. I don't know about that. Novo Perkele, evening greetings from sauna. Very good. My discus spend the majority of their time in one half of my 300 litre tank, all that extra space, and don't even use it apart from feeding time. Yeah, I've had that before as well. I don't know what to suggest, because I've had that, and I'm trying to think what I did to stop that happening. I think I just kept changing up the decorations every now and again until they finally got used to me. I had one tank where it was in a room that I wasn't in very often, and every time I came in the room, they would basically just all go and dive for cover. And it took months before they would get used to me coming in like that, because I put a little camera in to monitor them, and as soon as I left the room, they were all, "Oh, he's gone. It's all right, guys. We can come back out." And they'd be out swimming around again, and then as soon as I came back in, dive for cover. One of the more infuriating things about skittish fish, and not all discus are like that. So my discus in the fish room at the moment, they're all like, "Hey, he's back! Yay! Let's throw a party." Where I've had discus in the past that have just been like little shy, retiring wallflowers. I did have 6, but one died unexpectedly. The rest have thrived. I do have 3 angels in there and 4 Buenos Aires tetras to keep them company. Yeah, good mix. How much would you be looking to pay for a Shoutin' Denny puffer? I don't know. I just had it in my mind that they were once about 60 quid. And I saw one recently that was like 190. I thought, why? But the price of something is how much it costs. So who knows? Ever had any gouramis? I've only ever... No, that's not true. I'm lying. I've had the dwarf blue gouramis that everyone seems to get at some point during their fish keeping career. And I was really lucky with mine. That they're a really what's the word? Not overbred, but they're just lots of poor quality examples of them out there in fish shops, and they get sick and they have lots of problems. But the one I had lasted for years. It was a great little fish. So I had that one. I had some opaline gouramis. They were fine. I've just never really been into gouramis after that. Once I get into discus, it just kind of soured me off of most other fish. So I might have to get back into gouramis, because that I did like them at one point, and they just kind of everything faded away once I started getting into discus. But I'm starting to get into more and more things now. So maybe have to get back into them again. Maybe have to get a giant gourami and get them for mega tank. Who knows? Do you have a favourite discus? I had Pigeon Bloods, Blue Diamond, Marlborough Reds. I think they call them Melon Reds these days, but I prefer the wild striped greens myself. Yeah, I've got a soft spot for 2 types. So your basic Turk. I love a basic Turk. Whether it's a blue Turk or red Turk, I just like that classic domestic discus colourings. There's a soft spot in my heart for the old Blue Diamonds, or any kind of solid blues. I quite like them. I just think blue fish are pretty cool looking. My favourite that I've got at the moment, I love the eruptions, but I've always got a soft spot for the wild types, whether that be the more, not necessarily actual wild discus, although they are cool and then in and of themselves, but the wild types, kind of brown based fish that look a little bit that, I think. So to answer your question, Ben, no, I don't have a favourite. I love them all. My least favourite, I would say, would be yellowfish. I've had several yellow discus and killed every single one of them. I just do not do well with yellow discus. Got one at the moment, so we'll see how we got on with that one. So far, so good. Touch wood. Hire an engine hoist. That is, I've been looking at that. I've been on HSS, seeing what tools you can hire. It's just a bit awkward. So we'll see what kind of tools we can get in there, because you can buy like panel lifters, which are for big glass panels, and they lift them up, but the thing itself is too tall. So to get the panel up to the height I need to swing it into the tank, the thing itself is too tall for the roof, so that wouldn't work. So I am looking at options. I might just hire a couple of people, put a thing out on Facebook. Need 2 strong men to come and help me. There's an advert you don't want to list. Bulbitis, that's the one. I quite enjoy shopping on Aquarium. I do too. I mean, I've bought a lot of stuff from there, but everything seemed to be out of stock. Everything that I wanted seemed to be out of stock. So I've spent something like 70 quid on plants for this African tank, and I just don't think I've got anywhere near enough to fill out a tank to make it a planted tank. But like I say, I keep watching all these videos of people doing aquascapes of African biotopes, and they just crap. It's basically like doing a George Farmer or a MD Fish Tanks tank full of plants, which is a lovely tank and it looks awesome, but it's just not what it looks like in the wild. So granted, they often don't call them biotopes, they call them African inspired, not even biotypes. But some of them they'll just be talking about the fish. They want to keep African fish in there, and obviously Africa's a big place, so you could get something from South Africa all the way up to North Africa and anything in between. But I've tried to stick to Congo so far, but I think I'm going to run out of it at some point. So we might start with plants that have at least been found in the Congo. So the type of Anubias that I've gone for the Congo Anubias. It's got a proper name which I can't remember. Is it Congenensis, and Crinums? They've been found in at least the tributaries of the Congo, if not the Congo itself. And Bulbitis is pretty much all over Africa that's found. So I think we're all right with them to start with. But I might just add in some extra Anubias that are a little bit less biotypey, but we'll start at least that way. And again, Anubias it's one of those plants that it takes forever to grow. I mean, it's lovely. I have a lot of Anubias in my other tanks, but it's hard to fill out a tank and make it look like a planted tank like that. Oh, quite the discussion. Do we need to @ people? I thought you didn't need to @ anymore. I don't know. I thought you could just type their name and it would come up. There you go. No need for the @ but it also works. Are we going ancient Egypt cross African biotope? Get plenty of Anubis. Yeah, because they all... where do we get to? Marine does have a markup for the same thing. Goldfish things often have a lower markup than other fishes. Yeah, I had a marine tank. Granted, it was a Chinese type marine light. What was it? The Viper Spar or something like that. And I took it apart, and I could buy all the contents, all the gubbins that were inside it. I could buy for like 30 quid. And the light itself is something like 280 quid. Like, just because it's a marine tank. When will you start selling fish again? I don't know, if I'm completely honest. I was looking at my website the other day and thought I might as well take those fish off because I've got no fish that I want to sell at the moment. It's a hassle selling fish. I don't have any fish to sell at the moment. I don't know. Watch this space. I think that's all I'm going to say. It's just the only reason I was selling fish was because I had lots of fish extra. So I was breeding more fish than I had, so I had to get rid of some of them. So if that situation starts again, then yes, I might start selling fish again. But I'm never going to be importing fish just to sell. Well, I don't think I will anyway. I have a lot of discus at the moment. I'm hoping that I'll get them breeding because they are laying eggs like nobody's business, so I might see if I can get some good pairs out of them. And then if they start breeding, then I will be selling them, and maybe we'll do like half price to members, something like that. give some really good discounts on them, because I want them to go to good people rather than... The last time I sold discus, I thought I was doing a good thing, thinking, oh, I'll sell them cheap, but I just got every scumbag in the world came around wanting cheap discus. So I might sell them for really expensive, but give good rates to people that I know, if that makes sense. I probably shouldn't be telling everyone on the internet that's my plan, but you know. Have you ever kept red-eye pufferfish? I have not. I almost did, because I think Callum or Reese got some in, and before I made my mind up, they got sold, or they didn't come in, or whatever happened. So I almost bought some, but no, I've never kept them. That last sentence in that comment, it's all marketing BS. I think you're onto something there, Sharpie. The thing with marine lights is they don't need to be as bright or as migraine blue as they are. Our tanks aren't deep enough to lose the lower frequency light waves. It's all marketing. I definitely think it is. Oh, my LFS has them for about 60 quid plus shipping. We'd probably be looking at 80 to 90 pound if you want one. Maybe. Yeah, I mean, I think I'd be happy about paying up 60 quid for a fish, and obviously shipping does usually cost an extra 25, 35 quid. But yeah, I might go on a bit of a road trip and see if I can find some somewhere. That might be the thing to do. Grammy's a bit... Oh, right, someone put Courtney in a timeout. Nice. Callum's... Oh, yeah, Callum. He's kept them and bred them. It was him that put me on to the red-eye puffers. Anyone got any Corydorus panatalensis? Pantanalensis. That's a word that I've not seen before. I'm going to have to Google that. I saw some cool, proper cool Corys. And it's those very ones. Let me show you that on small face. I think it was Chris Lookout or one of those guys that said, oh, you don't see these very often, and now I'm seeing them all over the place. Yeah, they do look cool. So, no, I haven't seen any around, but I've seen some pictures on Facebook and things like that recently. But they are cool. Oops. Pantanalensis. I like saying that. Pantanalensis. They're on my someday list. They're dear enough I want to build my skills and not kill them. That's the thing about buying really expensive fish, isn't it? Because fish will just have this habit of just upping and dying for no reason, and it's not always about your skills. They'll just do it sometimes. Or sometimes you are an idiot, me being a perfect example of that idiot, and you kill them. And bear in mind, unless they're breeding, they all look like... Yeah, I did not know that. I wondered if that was the case, because lots of the pictures, like this one for instance, not that you can see that, at a certain angle, you're like, it's just a slightly less bronze Cory. And then you go and you see ones like this, you go, so it's like that. So it's just when they're breeding, the males colour up like that. They're pretty cool, and some nice variation in the patterns. How long before someone labels that a leopard Cory? Hans has 4 elephant ear gouramis. They're still small, but they're a lot more personable than any dwarf gourami I've ever kept. Not as full colour though. Yeah, I mean, there's lots of different lots of options with gouramis, isn't there? But I've just seen another comment there. Dwarf gouramis, I can't quite define how they look, but they certainly don't look healthy. Gouramis to me, I think the reason I had the dwarf gourami was because it was probably the biggest fish I could get in a little tank. It was just a little bit like, if that's as big as I can get, at least it's nice and colourful, well, go for it. That was back in my I'm not a proper fish keeper days. But ever since then, I've just always thought all the variants of the pearl gouramis, the opaline gouramis, even though I had them, they just screamed fish. There wasn't, I've never thought, wow, that's cool looking. It was just, yeah, it's a little fish. Obviously the giant gouramis and some of the more exotic ones. So I'm just pouring myself a drink. Tonight's episode is sponsored by Pepsi Max. No beer for me. I'm having a beer-free couple of months. Just straight on the Jack Daniels and Jim Beam. No, this is just plain Pepsi. But yeah, obviously there are some cool-looking gouramis, but the smaller ones are all maybe I've just not seen anything. Ultimate fish to keep. I don't believe marine is the gold standard. For me, it would be Ultim Angels. The closest I had was some Ultim hybrids. I need to get some Ultim Angels because I agree with you. I think they are stunning fish. Just the size, the shape, the finnage. I have some Ultim Angels in my fish room. Well, that's what they were sent to me as, but they're definitely not Ultim Angels. I think so. For me, the ultimate fish to keep is currently still discus. That's all I want to have is a lovely planted discus tank. To me, I think it's the pinnacle of aquariums. Fish keeping, I've got loads of things I want to keep. I want a Maboo puffer because I like saying Maboo and I think they're cool as hell, but they require things most people don't have. And if I was to dedicate Mega Tank to a Maboo puffer, there would still be people saying that tank's not big enough. And it would just be one big puffer in there. And as cool as I think they are, I think, yeah, it's probably not going to happen. I really like the peacock bass. So I saw one at Fishman Aquatics. If you haven't heard of Fishman Aquatics and live in the Manchester area or Oldham, go and check it out. But they had one in a Tiamensis. I can't remember how you say it, but it was cool. It was like a proper fish that you might go fishing for, that you could keep in your aquarium. It was very active. It was very cool. It was very bright. It was very colourful. I know they're not all like that, but it just, something clicked. And I went, yes, that's what I want. I want to keep Oscars. Boring as hell, most people would say. But I want to keep some. I've never kept them before. I want to keep them. So I want to get some Oscars. So they're not necessarily the ultimate fish that I want to keep, but I think it has to be a personal thing. I don't think you can dictate to the rest of the world, well, discus are at the top of the game, and unless you keep discus, you're a substandard fish keeper. It's just not true. You could keep goldfish, you could keep tetras, you can keep whatever the hell you want. If you're doing a good job and you're enjoying that hobby, then that is the ultimate fish for you. It's what you want to keep. Loads of people say, oh, stingrays. I'd love to keep stingrays, but I'm not going to break my back to go and get stingrays. I think they're cool, but I'm not like, I'm going to have to keep them. Whereas I am a bit like that with Oscars, I'm a bit like that with the bass. I've seen some like tropical pike fish and things like that. They're a bit like, wow, that's cool. Again, one that I'd not really come across before, but the freshwater barracudas. So, that's interesting. But in the same breath, there's other fish that other people have been like, oh, look at this, I have tilapia, or look at this, I've got this weird thing, and I've kind of gone, yeah, lovely. It has to be a personal thing. It's whatever floats your boat. I mean, I'll argue black is white all day and tell you that discus is the best thing, but I'll concede that some people just don't get it. So we'll see. But yeah, Ultim Angels, I think they are pretty cool. Nile perch, yeah, I've been looking at perch recently. I don't think that's for me though. A mummy theme tank, what, for the African tank? Or is this for Scott's tank? Yeah, and as Rebecca's saying there are so many fish in the freshwater hobby that I don't even know some of them. That's a stupid way to say that. It makes me sound ridiculously big-headed, as if I know all the fish there are. But I spend a good portion of my time farting about looking at fish, and there's still things that surprise me. And I'm like, what the hell's that? There's still little niches in this hobby where, like, the people that are really into pecos, the people that are really into plecos that will have conversations where, to me, it just seems that they're shouting numbers at each other, and I'm a bit like, don't know what you're going on about, but every now and again I'll be like, that thing's cool, and then my wife says this to me quite often. I'm like, that thing's cool, that thing's horrible. She's like, they're exactly the same. But that's the same way I feel about curtains. They all look the same to me. But I could never get into plecos the same way someone like Rebecca is, because I don't think I have the mental capacity to learn everything that you would need to learn about them. But that doesn't stop me thinking that some of them are really cool, and some of them are a bit meh to me. The same way with corridors. There's people that are into corries that are like, oh yeah, have you seen this one? That I know. Oh yeah, is that the black one? Or oh, is that the spotty one? That's the kind of level I operate at. Often people think I'm an expert in fish keeping. I'm not. I just have a YouTube channel. I just happen to like fish. That doesn't mean I'm any more knowledgeable than anyone else. Obviously I have some knowledge. I'm not a complete noob. I have kept fish for a long time now. I've kept lots of different fish. But yeah, I think a lot of people make that mistake. Someone just shouted at me in the comments the other day saying, oh, you laud yourself as an expert on these fish. I think it was about the snakeheads. I'm going, in what universe have I lauded myself as an expert on them? I think I said in the video, I don't really know all that much about them. I've been researching them for a little while and said the little I did know about them. Some knobheads having a proper go at me saying, oh, you shouldn't be spelling misinformation because you call yourself an expert on these fish. Well, I don't call myself an expert, and I didn't spread any misinformation. I was completely correct, but that's another point. General point is, I'm not an expert. Point well made? Yes. Let's move on. Shaler Aquatics. Hello everyone. Water changes. Dr. Pepper lurking and listening. Nice to see you. And Laura Kids, I'd say True, Barry and Sistrus are the gold standard, so far not seen anyone manage to get their fish to adult size. Yeah, there's a thing about, there's a challenge, and then there's should you be keeping these fish because no one ever gets them to adult size, or they don't do well. And there's lots of different fish, and it's not just plecos and the like. There's lots of different fish that just don't do well in aquariums, but people insist on keep trying them, and I think that's a little bit cruel sometimes. I mean, there's lots of fish that do well in aquariums and never run out of them. Who knows? But without these people trying, then we don't get these new fish coming into the hobby. So, it's a difficult one. How's the Congos? The Congos are doing fantastic. So yeah, like I say, we've got this big tank. Well, big. I've got a 4 foot by 2 foot tank coming soon, and then the Congos will be going in there as their the main centerpiece for that tank. Kissing gouramis, yeah, again, they're just the fish that to me, they're like, it's a fish. I don't really get it. I also don't like the word gourami. Can I go off a fish because I don't like the word? So, let me see if I can explain what I mean. So, this is your dwarf blue gourami. That's, I would say, your starter fish. I've kept that, and it was fine. If anything, that was my favourite gourami that I've ever kept. Blue gourami, or opaline gourami, as it was when I kept it, that's what it was called. Kept that, and it was fine. It was very much fish. Pearl gourami, that I can get behind, because that does look very beautiful, but I kept them, and they were arseholes. I don't know if it was just that particular fish, so that put me off. And it didn't look like that. It looked more like that. I don't know if you can see that. It's like a muted version of that. Maybe that's breeding colours, maybe that's something special, but mine just didn't look like that. And I was a bit like, yeah, it's just a fish. It just looks very fishy. Gold gouramis, they just all look a bit meh. 3-spot gouramis, 2-spot gouramis, yeah, meh. Fish. Bog standard fish. I don't know if I'm making any sense whatsoever. David's joining us. That's alright, David. Thank you for joining us. Chocolate and samurai gouramis are cute. What the hell is a samurai gourami? I'm going to have to look for that now. Ooh, nearly knocked my drink over. Not one I've seen before. It does look... That's a little bit less meh fish. Yeah, that's a bit different. I could maybe get behind that. When will you try an ecosystem tank with deep sand and no water changes? Well, I don't know. I've never really thought about it, to be honest. I mean, I have done sort of an ecosystem tank where I just had a massively heavily planted tank and, yeah, quite a deep substrate. But it didn't do anything for me, especially. It got to the point where it was getting too planted and I was spending so much time cutting back plants that you couldn't see anything that was in it. And I just kind of fizzled out and I changed it to do something else. But yeah, maybe one day I'll have a go at that. Elephant ear gourami, 60 centimeters, so they are giant. Elephant ear. This is going to be the stream where I'm turned around on gouramis, isn't it? Oh, so they are the giant gouramis. Just, is that another name for... That's a big old fish. Oh, now I don't know. Yeah, I do like the big giant gouramis. Mostly because they look a bit derpy. What plants can withstand the water temperature of a discus tank? I keep mine at 30 degrees. I love a more hardscape, but I'd love to try and keep an eye on any nitrates. I would go with... so I've had great success with Amazon swords. Anything in that family usually does quite well. I mean, obviously check out the specific plant requirements for Echindorus. Vallisneris grows like a weed in there. I've kept Anubias, Crypts. Anubis, I'm going to keep saying that now. They've done really well. I can't remember the name of the plant now. I called it Juncus repens, but I think it was something else, and I can't remember what it was. But that grew like a weed, and it almost created a carpet in one of my discus display tanks. That was a fantastic plant. I've not done well with, so there's a bunch of those that will usually do quite well. The lotus plants, so they look a bit like lilies. If you keep cutting back the streamers, that will grow into a big bush as well, and I think that does that really well in a warmer tank, so that looks quite good. So that should give you plenty of ideas to have a start with. Avoid things like Java fern. I've found that melts a little bit too easily in the warmer temperatures. Most of the mossies I've struggled with because they melt a little bit too easy, but there's plenty of options in there, and you could even drop. It's controversial to say, but you could drop your temperature a degree or two and the discus will be absolutely fine, and that will open up your range for more plants. So, but there's plenty of options that will be. I mean, most places, even if you go on things like aquarium gardens or any plant place, will usually sell discus packs, and it's all the plants that do well in warmer climates. In fact, let's have a look. I'm sure I'm forgetting some. That's only because I was here yesterday trying to find myself some plants. But for instance, plant collections, is it? Pardon me. There you go, discus plant collections. So what's the plants that they're suggesting? This is where I've broken their website. Echinodoros tenulis, Val's species, assorted potted plants, that's good. Assorted Echinodoros, 2 pots of Sagittaria. So that's not the one that I was thinking of, but I guess that would work as well. But there's other ones I was missing there. I thought they were on here. Maybe not. But things like that. So eBay, even, you'll be able to find discus plants, and even if you don't buy them from there, it gives you the ideas of the sort of things that people are keeping with their discus. But yeah, they are the ones that I had good success with. Great success. I visited my local garden centre, aquarium centre with my mate. He looked at the discus and said, "How effing much?" at the top of his voice. Yes. Well, you should take him to a discus specialist, and then you'll see him faint. Because quite often, if you go to a local fish shop or something like that, they'll have your bog standard discus that they're buying in from whatever places they're buying them in from. They're getting the Asian discus, and they might sell them for 35 quid, 45 quid, something along those lines. They might be getting them in from Stinker, bring them in from Germany, might get a little bit more. But if you go to your specialists that are importing from specific breeders, yeah, I mean, you've seen obviously it's closed now, but Corbin Discus, that was my local place, that was who I used. So Tim there was quite friendly with. I would go around there, and if you look at any of my videos where I've done tours of that place, you'll see them written on the tank where it's like quite small fish, well over £100, and you're a bit like, blows my mind sometimes. But even buying large fish, I bought a show fish once from Chen's Discus. So I bought a fish, it was a red fish that had won, I think it was the Belgian Discus show, something like that. It won best coloured fish. I think I spent £300 or £400 on that fish, and it was beautiful, great shape, great colour. But when you think about it, that's a lot of money to spend on a fish. I'm really into my plecos, but since discovering discus, I've lost all interest. Well, surely they can go together. There are plenty of plecos that like warmer temperatures that would be happy in as tank mates, if not ancestors, if not loricids. Remind me, Rebecca, how do I pronounce that again? Loricardis? Loricaridis? I don't know. I remember you just telling me to say it confidently, but I'm just murdering it now. Yes, so as Rebecca says, they are her speciality. So check out the freshwater ichthyology channel and you can learn a little bit more about some of the discus. I was watching one of your videos earlier today about, what was it? I was having an argument. No, I was having a discussion. It wasn't an argument, it was a me explaining why you're wrong. I was having a discussion with someone who was adamant that discus, that all plecos needed wood in their diet. And I remembered you talking about this in the past, saying, well, that's not true. Most of them don't. Most of them can't even digest the wood. So they don't all need wood in their diet. And I had to find your video so as I could brush up on my my argument. So yes, well worth it if you want to learn a little bit more about plecos of all types. Rebecca's channel, Freshwater Ichthyology, has lots of information on that. I was a kid, my stepdad kept giant gourami. I have no idea how big the tank was, but it was the length of the lounge. One day the tank just burst and flooded downstairs. Nobody was in the room, luckily. That's exactly what had happened to me. That's why Mega Tank is in the garage, so when it bursts and floods, there's nothing underneath it to flood. Ghost FPV, hello there. I was just watching your video called Ista CO2 Diffuser Set. I've no idea why that bloody video done so well. Water plant system unboxing from 30th November 2018. Was that system worth anything or not? I guess it's what you're saying. Yeah, it was fine. If you want a very low-tech introduction into CO2, yeah, it works great. It's basically the Bell CO2 idea. You have a bell jar and you put it in the water, fill that up with CO2, and then that slowly dissolves into the water. It's very simple, can't really go wrong, perfectly fine. Sentang licorice gouramis, yeah. Nah, I don't. Again, I think they have some weird requirements as well, licorice gouramis. But yeah, I'm not. I think they fell into the, oh yeah, brown fish, meh. There are 3 types of giant gouramis: normal, elephant ear, and red tail. I did not know that. See, we all learn things now. There you go. Sharpie's filling this in. They want battery acid. I couldn't remember what it was, but I knew there was something about extremely hard, soft, acidic, alkaline water that they needed. QC Aquaholic, hello there. I'm running my discus tank at 28 and Java Firm seems to do fairly well, so I think the couple of degrees makes a difference. Yeah, so I think that's why I struggled with Java Firm, keeping my tanks too hot, and I could only get them, I could only keep, power of speech, I could only keep Java Firm happy at lower degrees, and light. They don't like too much light either, I've found. And you really want to see your discus tank, so I was always putting in far too much light for the plants. I've read that as Paul McCartney. I was going to say there's a Beatle in. It's Paul McCarthy. Good evening. Hello there. Sorry, I'm way behind in the chat. I'm just trying to catch up really quickly. There you go. That was what I was trying to get for my argument, the information. None of them can digest the wood, but some of them know it to naturally reach the bacteria. It's a really niche way of getting food. Microbes, not just bacteria. I just had a thought about your discus that had a bad time with the poop pipe explosion. Yes, poop populus, punami. I used to know a discus breeder that absolutely swore by Melifix for fixing skin problems, etc. Yeah, so for those that don't know, punami was quite the experience. So I had almost forgotten about that. Thanks for bringing back that memory. Yeah, we had a soil pipe, a block toilet, a soil pipe that ran through the fish room and just exploded all over me as I went to investigate. Punami, yeah, it was disgusting. And it went in my discus tank, and a lot of them looked really, really, really ropey. But they're all fine now. Constant water changes did the trick. I didn't, if I'm completely honest, I didn't know what to do medication wise, because I thought, well, it's bacterial. I don't know what medicine fixes poo bacteria in fish tanks, so I'll just get them out of there, get that water changed. Melifix, I wouldn't have gone there unless somebody had done that, so I might bear that in mind. But anything that's got fix at the end of it, I immediately write that off. Melifix, Pumafix, it's just hokum in my opinion. So I wouldn't have gone with that. It's just fancy coloured water. But yeah, it might have helped. Who knows? I'm not dissing your idea, and thank you for the idea. It's just I've always had a downer for anything that's got fix at the end of the name. But I suppose a skin problem might help. Right, we've got to... I was going to have a look at the Aquatic Morning Show, wasn't I? Well, shall we have a look at that? We can see your fame and your fortune. If I can figure out what button to press. Is there a special bit that we should look? Am I going to get a copyright strike by watching this? So for those that don't know, this is friend of the channel, Freshwater Ichthyology, appeared on the Aquatic Morning Show. That's quite the intro, isn't it? See, this was going to be one of the questions that I was going to ask you. What YouTube channels should we be watching? So I did not know about this one. It's quite the introduction. God, everyone that's anyone's been on this. Where's my invite? Sorry, I had to skip that.
Rundowns of the good mornings real quick, and then we're going to jump right into it because it's Friday. Master Aquatic just told me Eduardo was first.
God, some people have just got the enthusiasm that I can't get there.
Fish on tainted. Good morning. Bigfoot fish tank tennis. 3G Greg. Y'all, Greg was so sweet.
I really need to up my enthusiasm levels when I'm doing my streams, don't I?
So sweet of him. But I had money before that, if we won a lot with some fresh water. So I did modules at both, but my degree is biology, so it allowed me to do a wider spectrum of things.
Listen to that weird accent.
I really wanted to really focus on what phylogenetics, so which is looking at relationships and the sort of family tree of catfishes. So I did do a undergraduate project, and that's in Caliclidae, which is Corydorus, Hoplosternum, Leptoflosternum, Calictes, and also, what is it? Hoplocat, which is Megalichus.
And this is why you don't pick a fight about fishy things with Rebecca.
Masters at Imperial College, and that was we had to do 3 projects. I studied 1 on corals.
So is this a thing that happens all the time?
And then 2 on the lower.
Why have I never heard of this?
So I studied the evolution of.
I'll give them a subscribe.
The group in general, looking at how their diets evolved and body length. Because in diets you've got some really strong carnivores and then a lot of more, what I'd say, herbivorous and detritivores, which feed on, like, I guess you could say waste almost, but not entirely. It's really difficult to define.
You're doing well. You're holding your own here.
You got from, what's it like, 0.8 millimeters or 1.8 millimeters to 1 meter. And then after that, I did the final project looking at
2 hours.
Fishes, which is the bristlenoses. And most of that was with Natural History Museum. My current project was with London Zoo.
So I think what I'll do is I'll post a link to that in the chat. So if you want to hear more about that, rather than watching me watching that, you can watch it on your own. That's a bit more. Where's the chat gone now? Bloody hell. Okay, I won't post a link to it in the chat because I can't find bleeding chat. There you go. You can go and check that out in your own leisure. Coldwater Aquatics. Let's go all American. Hey, Coldwater Aquatics. Hi, how you doing? I just can't do it. No, I'm just not that enthusiastic. Talk about enthusiasm. I know. I just can't. I can't bring myself to those levels of enthusiasm. Don't change. I can't change. I feel like I have to wipe myself down just after doing that for a minute. Malefic sounds like nonsense, but it's an all-natural thing. It's basically tea tree. Well, that's the thing I've got against it. It is basically tea tree oil. That doesn't mean it's terrible, but it doesn't mean it's great either. And just because something's natural doesn't mean it's brilliant. So cyanide's natural. But, you know, I'm not saying that Malefics is a terrible thing. I'm just thinking that it's oversold or overpromised. Is that the way to look at it, maybe? I don't know. Dr. Anthony is a good one to watch. Amazon Research Centre for Ornamental Fish. Well, I should right. Yes, drop in the comments any channels you think I should watch. Shall we have a look at the channels I subscribe to? You can tell me what I'm missing out on. How do I do that? How do I do that? Not there. Let's go home. I don't actually subscribe to that many fishy channels. Oh, you were only getting the mic audio, so the video... sorry. Well, I've stopped now. Enthusiasm. No. It's Monday, Tuesday, Thursday and Friday at 3 PM. My God. That takes some doing. I struggle to do one video a week and one live stream. Famous, yes. You're famous getting invited to these things. Well done. Right, so if I look down here, can you see that? Let's get rid of... Let's get rid of that. So, obviously I'm missing out on... I've just subscribed to Mains, Tails, Furs and Fins, so I can start watching the... My God, doing that 4 times a week, that takes some doing. So if I look at my subscriptions down here, is there a way to make that bigger? I'm subscribing to 172 channels at the moment. Wow. I had no idea I'd subscribed to 172 channels. How can I make that bigger so we can see them? I don't want to just sit and read them all out to you. Subscriptions. No, that's all the videos. YouTube Studio. What does that do? That tell me anything? I'm a professional, people. Don't worry, we'll get there in the end. Nope. Nope. Welcome to Aquarium Adventures. This is where man randomly clicks things looking for other things, but doesn't get anywhere. Right, YouTube. Try again. So, Corvus Oskin, he's one of my subscriptions, who's live now. Mains, Tails, Fur and Fins is now one of my subscriptions. Show 173 more. Linus Tech Tips, that's not a fishy one. Car Throttle, that's not. Coldwater Aquatics, that's a fishy one. MD, Aquarium Co-op. James the Koi Whisperer. Big Fish Lad. Big Fish Lad. Coralfish 12G, that was just so as I could watch his... well, I nearly said something I shouldn't say. Michael's Fish Room, Fishman Aquatics, George Farmer, Adam Julian. So that's when I was considering getting a koi pond. I quite like his koi videos. Mark's Aquatics, KG Tropicals, Alex G's Aquatics, The Secret History Living Inside Your Aquarium. Just rolls off the tongue, that name. Tazawa Tanks. God, I keep forgetting I'm subscribed to half of these. I don't know what even some of them are. Green Aqua. I can't remember the last time I watched a Green Aqua video. Jadron Aquatics, I forgot about him. Sharpie's Fish and Fanta. Get rid of that. Nonsense. LRB. Q Aquatics. Steenfoot Aquatics. Smith's Fish Room. Aquadiction. Kaler's Aquatics. Lazarus the Fish Boy. Mountain Goldfish. Yeah. Isabella Aquazone. Alan Hopkinson's Snakeheads. Frankie's Aquatics. Andy Woods Chitchlids. The Toitle Girl. Foo the Flowerhorn. Dan's Fish. Aquarium Gardens. Friday Fish Facts. I've not had one of them for donkey's years. Wild Fish Tanks, not watched them. Aquascaping 101. I didn't even know that was a thing. I'll have to look at that. Aquafunk. Simply Shrimps. Robot Aquariums. Oh, I remember that. That was a really good one. Fishman. Dramatic Aquatics. That's the name. That's the one I wanted to call. That's what I wanted to call my channel, Dramatic Aquatics. It's a great name. The Water Box, E.J. Briniger. I like that guy. Mark Shrimp Tanks, Deb Tim, Rachel O'Leary, Cooper Cichlids. I've got a soft spot for Cooper Cichlids. I like that channel. Aqua Chigger, what's that? Oh, that's that guy that does. So you know you go down rabbit holes with YouTube videos sometimes. So that's a metal detecting channel, I think. I would find myself watching videos for hours of just digging about in a river with a metal detector and what he would find. The Pond Digger, God, Greg Jones, Richie's Fishies. Some of these blasts from the past. So, is there anything that I should be watching that I'm not watching that I don't know about? But I'm going to give a special shout out to Cooper's Chitslids. He's just this guy that makes short videos constantly. He's had like a load of fish tanks in his basement. Has some cool big cichlids. I mean, the production quality is not great, I'll give you that, but I don't know. He watches my videos. I watch his videos. I've watched his videos for years. He's been around for years since I started making YouTube videos. He has lots of fish breeding. Let's say that. So go and check him out and tell him I sent you. E.J. Bruniger. God, he's still going as well. It feels mean to say this, but he has a great voice for YouTube, and he signs all his comments E.J. Briniger. It just makes me laugh. He'll be like, I enjoyed your video very much. Regards, E.J. Briniger. So give these people some love as well. Dramatic Aquatics. That's the channel I wanted. They're the guys that they turned a car into a fish tank. Some guys up in the northeast, friends of Pond Guru, I believe. But yeah, that was quite fun. Robot Aquariums. Oh, I thought they might make more videos, but no. Some of them are hilarious. See if you can hear this a little bit better.
Hello humans. Today we are going to go over the Flaval Planted Spectrum 3.0. This is the successor from the Flaval 2.0. They have added the ability to interact with robots via Bluetooth. This is an app for your Android or Apple robots. This allows you to program the light for a 24-hour light cycle. Each light has extendable arms much like Inspector Gadget. This allows you to take the 48-inch light from 48 inches to adapt it to up to a 60-inch aquarium. It comes in 3 sizes, 24-inch, 36-inch, and 48-inch. The respective energy consumption is 32 watts, 45 watts, and 59 watts. The color temperature is 6500 Kelvin. The unit is designed to withstand water. Its waterproofing gives it a rating of IP67,
I don't know why I'm showing you this.
which allows it to endure regular splashing and even temporary submersion should you attempt to throw it into the bathtub. The Flaval 3.0 is designed to have a light spread of 120 degrees. This spreads the light out evenly from the front to the back of an aquarium. Targeted towards 18-inch front to back depth aquariums. The robot programming comes with 3 preset habitats. The first being Lake Mal.
Anyway, sorry, I'm getting distracted now. Now I'm going to check Aquascaping 101. I can't even remember what that was. Nope. It's not coming back. So, there you go. That's my channels. If you've got your own YouTube channel, you think I should subscribe to it, stick a link down below. That's more than fine. If you want to let me know about any other channels that are good that I'm missing out on, let me know that too. Right, sorry. I'm struggling to find an aquarium YouTube channel I watched back in 2010-11. I keep trying to find it. Northern guy gave up fishies probably 5 years ago to join the Air Force. I don't remember much else. No, I don't know that one. I'm a professional. Ha! I am a professional. Just not a very good one. Paul, are you feeling any better after losing your kitten this morning? Oh no, that doesn't sound good. I think we should create a place in Discord for recommendations of YouTubers to watch if there isn't already one. Good idea. That might help. Daniel Keeping Fish, Primetime Aquatics. I thought I was subscribed to them because I've heard of them. Dustin's Fish Tanks. I think I'm subscribed to Dustin's Fish Tanks, but it's been a long time since I've watched one of his videos. Yo, people, what's going on? It started to do my head in because he'd have these little inspirational speeches in the middle of his videos, and I'm like, shut up. I've had enough of that. Oz Ponds. Now there's a thing. Not heard of that one. I'll have to check out that. Definitely Daniel Keeping Fish on it. Okay, we'll have to have a look at that one. King of DIY is a smashing channel. I've not heard of that one. That sounds like a home improvement channel or something like that. I don't know that would be interesting to me. Ryo Watanabe. Yeah, I have seen some of his videos. He's the open mouth thumbnail guy, isn't he? Every thumbnail is, I saw a fish. I went to a fish shop. This fish lives underwater. Father Fish, yeah, I think I'm subscribed to Father Fish. Well, maybe I'm not. I have watched some of his videos, yeah. Smeggy had a question about Chitchlids. I'll come back to that. Sorry, Smeggy. Back in a minute. Caveman Aquatics. I think I have watched some of his. I didn't really get on with that. Courtney's skating on thin ice. Why? What's wrong with her suggestions? MJ Aquascaping. Oh, I'm going to have to... Bama Bass. Folks at Home. Is that one? He's got the big massive pond, doesn't he? No, by all means, spam away, Fishbank. I can come back and watch this afterwards and see which ones I'm missing out on. Yeah, I do watch a few reptile channels. I have a soft spot for the Dark 10. That's one of my channels I've watched for a long, long time. Purely because I'm petrified of spiders, and he's got thousands of the buggers. What have I missed here? I've been devastated all day and sad. Left the house to go to the gym, come back feeling furious. All next door said, sorry, you must have thought it was a rabbit. Oh, is this a dog? Getting your cat? Not good, not good. Been out of the game a long time now. Really used to like the dual tanks, especially the corner filters they used. Are they still a thing? Yes, they are. I think the filters have actually got a lot better, and certainly on the bigger tanks anyway. The internal filters, the duals, I quite like them. I think they're like mini sumps. Oh, look at me not being in focus. It's got to sit to the side. We've not done a giveaway, have we? It's nearly time to go, and we've not done a giveaway. My goodness. Sorry, let's get down to the bottom. Spiders are cute and fluffy. You're a weird person. The Fish Doctor. I think I have seen the Fish Doctor. I think that was the name of the one that I was trying to remember. A real aquatic vet. Yes, I shall definitely have to look into that. Right, those of you who have hung around long enough, sorry, someone had a question. We'll come back to that in a minute. But we'll do a quick giveaway, shall we? We'll do a... Is this going to be a Rickroll? Why can I not see that? Where does the chat keep going? Why does it keep disappearing? There we go. Ooh, it's not a Rickroll, it's Bluffco TV. Ooh. Okay, I'll have to have a look at that one. Right, as a thank you to all of you for putting up with my dodgy internet connection, monotonous, unenthusiastic voice, and just hanging around quite a long time, we'll do a bit of a giveaway, shall we? So let's spin the wheel, see what you could win. As ever, you have to live in the UK or be willing to pay the postage. Whoop whoop, it's a towel, it's a towel, woo! So you can get a fantastic fish towel with the Aquarium Adventures logo or This Sucks logo or whatever you want logo on there. It's a proper towel, a proper sized towel. And yes, before you ask, it has hanging hooks. So what every person needs is a fish towel. So if you want to win a fish towel, like I say, you have to live in the UK. You have to be a subscriber. You have to like this video. That'll do. Just watch a video. Do nice things. If there's something you can click it. And so we'll do a giveaway by saying mods, regulars, channel members. Let me show you all this so you know I'm not scamming you. Should we do a random number or should we do a keyword? How many people have we got? 50 people watching. Ah, beat you to it, Noodle Sandwich. It does have a hook, yes. Right, so this will take us into the end of the show. The show, as if this is a show, as if I've got a show. This will take us to the end of the random musings of a bored Scotsman. Think of a keyword. What could we put in? Let's go with the old classic towel. If you want a towel, type in towel. Go. Shit internet isn't a word, Courtney, so we can't use that. The word is towel. So I've got some more suggestions. Spiders go with golf clubs. What does that even mean? Fancy goldfish fanatics. Well, my daughter does want a veranda, so I might have to do some more reading up on goldfish. Keeping fish simple. Another one for keeping fish simple. I've definitely seen it around, but I don't think I've watched any of his videos. Predatory fins. Is that? I don't think I like that one. I think I've seen that. Is that the one with the big massive tank? I just remember him making load of fake videos and putting them out, and that just annoyed me. Nothing wrong with that, but I remember him saying, because they sell fish, is that predatory fins? I can't remember what that is. I could be doing someone a disservice, but they sold a load that they were selling fish in, they were getting all these fish in, they're saying, oh, and these are the such and such fish, and you're going, that's not what they are. They were telling you all about them. And then it kept making a load of like jokey videos, but they ended up going viral and stuff like that. About like, oh, this fish ate another fish, or someone fell in a fish tank and did this, that, and you're like, oh, no, put me off. I guess it's the overly enthusiastic things. They are naturally off-putting to me. All spiders need a bit of love. In Brazil, I remember going to the toilet once and seeing a gigantic golden orb. There's a joke in there, I'm sure there is. Spider. Greyhounds that would go for anything they could catch. My dogs are muzzled in public. You should definitely report it. If a dog has taken your cat, almost certainly nothing will happen, but you should definitely report it. So today it's your cat, next time it's somebody's kid. Any cures for Tropheus collectoritis? I have 3 variants and adding more. Now, the cure is running out of space for tanks. Keeping fish simple. Another one for keeping fish simple. Yeah, I'll need to. It's one I keep seeing, but I never actually get round to watching the videos, if that makes any sense. I don't know if it is the young Australian lad. The young Australian lad I'm thinking of is Lazarus the Fish Boy. Who you should definitely go and check out Lazarus the Fish Boy. I quite like his videos as well. He used the nice and confident, reached out to me, asked if we could do a collaboration, came up with the idea himself. That's the way you do collaboration requests. But if keeping fish simple is also Australian, they may well be. There we go. Towel. So someone did ask a question at some point, didn't they? I can't find the question, but what's people's thoughts on multiple dwarf cichlid pairs in a dual Rio 350? What's the dual Rio 350? I can't remember, is that the long one or the high one? It depends on. I would say it depends on how many pairs. So, in my experience, dwarf cichlids of any variety. So, Pistogrammas, Crebensis, they're some of the ones that I've kept. The other ones, even rams, things like that. When I've bred them all, I've ended up with several pairs in quite small tanks. and it's just carnage. And it's manageable if you put in loads of decoration, loads of hiding spots, and it seems to be the case where if you, and universally I would say this, it seems to be the case that if you have enough hidey holes that there's always one free and they don't feel the need to claim hidey holes, it dissipates it to a degree, but it never goes away, if that makes sense. So if you're just planning on having, I don't know, so let's say that was a 6-foot tank and you were going to have 3 pairs of dwarf cichlids, that's probably going to be fine. They'll create their own little caves, they'll be happy enough in it. Once they start breeding, it doesn't really matter whether you have 3 pairs, no other fish, 100 other fish. They're just going to start going mental and trying to kill everything, in my experience. But you can probably get away with it with a tank of that size until they start breeding, if that makes sense. I think that was Smiggy's question. Hopefully that makes sense. Oh yeah, catch 'em all fishing. See, people always say that, I'm hating on the king of DIY. Compared to folk like that, king of DIY is a diamond geezer. There's some horrible stuff goes out there, and it's just clickbaity shit. You're quite right. It's nonsense. I can't even bear to watch it, and that's not because of anything to do with animal cruelty or anything like that, which there is plenty of. It's just that, oh God, how can you listen to this incessant chirping from this? Oh. But hey, it works. I'm sure that guy's making a good living out of it, but it's not my cup of tea. Tail with a hook. Are you complaining that there's a lot of UK people watching a UK person stream? All nationalities are welcome, but yeah, there will be a lot of UK people here. Biotope Aquarium. I'll need to look out for that one. British beyond a certain age lose that never-ending enthusiasm. 22 for me. I can't remember the exact date, but I think I agree. Right, we've got 32 eligible users. Shall we draw it? Did you see Dean had one of your t-shirts on? I did not. Well, he did ages ago. He had one of my hats on once as well. He just likes the design. It's in no way an endorsement from Aquarium Co-op or Dean for my channel. He just likes the discus logo. You too can buy one from aquariumadventures.co.uk. Shelling over. Right, are we ready? Who's going to win a towel? Freshwater ichthyology! You have won a towel. Congratulations. All you need to do is send me an email to this address, which isn't there. Still a professional, even when I cock it up. It is... Why won't you work? There. Send me an email and let me know where to send it, and we'll send you a towel. You get to pick colour, design. We did this last time. I'll do it again quickly. This is just as a way of letting you all know that you can buy these things yourselves. Go on aquariumadventures.co.uk, go on shop. See, this is a special just for prize winners. Go on merch, click on towel. You can have that logo that you can't see because I'm not sharing my screen, idiot. You can have that logo. You can have Mucky Doings. Or, because this is a special one, you can have Cock. You can have This Sucks. That might be more appropriate for you because it's got a pleco on it, not because you suck. And any of the logos. Pick a colour, pick a logo, let me know. Phil will get on it and send it out to you. Congratulations!
Oh, my balls.
Oh, someone's hurt my balls. Right, we're drawing to an end. In fact, we've run over time. I'd like to thank you all for joining me while I quickly scroll down the rest of the comments. Thank you, Noodle Sandwich. Right, we've done it. We've got to the end. Hans has uploaded some pictures to the Discord Fish Chat. So, quick finish off. Go and watch another stream. I think Corvus Oskun is streaming. I think Coldwater Aquatics is streaming. Go and give them some love. Let them know we sent you. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for putting up with my nonsense. Discord, up here. Click a link. Join us in Discord. Show some pictures of your tanks, just like Hans has done. Show some pictures of your fish. Ask them questions. Share some knowledge. Generally chit-chat. All those good things. And we'll see you again next week. Thank you, everyone. Bye. Gonna have to stretch this out because I can't find the button to press it. Where is it? Bye.